Hi everyone, Jus4SweetZ here. Today we're going to do something really fun, yummy, easy, a good like lunchtime or dinner meal. You can serve it with a salad. I am going to make you a pepperoni pizza roll, and you just need, well, there's quite a few ingredients, but stuff that you probably have in your house besides the crust, the cheese, and the pepperoni. What you need is one ready-to-bake pizza crust, or you can make your own pizza crust. I have some roasted garlic grapeseed oil from Wild Tree that I'm using, but if you do not have that, feel free to use just plain olive oil or a garlic-infused olive oil. I also have some garlic galore from Wild Tree. If you don't have that, feel free to use either a garlic powder or garlic salt. And then I also have their hearty spaghetti sauce blend, sorry. And if you don't have that, just get a regular Italian seasoning. So you can interchange your ingredients with what I'm using. I also have my homemade marinara sauce that I made the other day with tomatoes that a client gave me. So I have about 2 tablespoons roughly of that. I have a bag of pepperoni. We have some Parmesan and Romano cheese, and then I have a pizza blend of cheese that I got at my local grocery store. If you don't want to use that, you can use just mozzarella if you want to. Very simple. Turn your oven on 375 degrees. I have a piece of parchment paper here, and then I have my pan ready to put that on. I'm going to go ahead and just make the whole thing on the parchment paper and then transfer it right over to my cookie sheet. So get that oven going. And the first thing we're going to do is, always the trick to me, is opening up these cans. Now, like I said, you can use any pizza dough you want to. You can substitute this with like the big frozen loaves of bread and just kind of roll it out. I just bought one that was already pre-rolled to make it real easy on myself. Now, I work late tonight, so my family will actually have this for dinner, and it's something easy that they can just pull out and heat up. So we're just going to smooth that out. Let me make sure you can see all this. Back this up a little bit. Okay. So we're just going to kind of pull that out, not too thin because it's pretty much rolled out, but I want to just thin it down just a tad. And you don't even need a rolling pin with the pizza dough. You can just kind of use your hands. Make sure there's no holes and just kind of straighten that out. This reminds me a lot of a cinnamon roll. So if you know how to make homemade cinnamon rolls, you're going to get the concept of this. All right, so we're just going to kind of square it off. I have it squared off to the parchment paper. That's kind of a little bit of my guide. These are so delicious and amazing, and your family is going to love them, and it's so inexpensive to make. You can get all your ingredients on sale. Okay. So I have that all flattened out to the parchment paper. Like I said, you don't have to flatten it a lot, or, you know, it's up to you. You just don't want it too thin because you want to be able to roll that. So I would say you want to have at least about a 1/2 inch thickness in that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to drizzle this with a little bit of my garlic grapeseed oil or your olive oil. So just drizzle around the edges just a tad. And then I'll just kind of use my hands and spread it out. Now you can use a pastry brush if you want to. My hands are clean, so I don't mind just using my hands. However, I will have to get a paper towel so I can touch my bottles. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to spread out my marinara sauce. And you don't want a whole ton of it because you don't want it to be, you know, oozing through too much. So you just are kind of doing this for flavor. Now, if you're one of those people that likes a lot of sauce, feel free to add more. Just don't add so much that it makes everything soggy. And like I said, this is my homemade marinara sauce that I made from fresh tomatoes that a client gave me. I was going to throw them away. I'd never made marinara sauce before. And I had this whole tub of tomatoes that she gave me, and I made salsa with some of them, and then I'm like, I guess I just have to throw them away. They're starting to go bad, and got this clever idea to make my own marinara, and it actually turned out super good. I like it. Very happy with it. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some of our seasonings. Now, my marinara already has this Italian spaghetti blend or hearty spaghetti blend in it, but I'm going to add just a little bit more. And just kind of take about a 1/2 teaspoon or a teaspoon and sprinkle that onto your bread. And then you're going to take your garlic galore or your garlic salt or whatever you have. Try not to drop it on your crust like I just did. And about a tablespoon or so and just kind of take that and spread it onto your bread as well. So you can see, not a lot of measuring. It's just kind of to what your taste buds are. Okay, so we have all that on there. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to take out that pepperoni. Now you can get pepperoni out of the deli, or you can buy it prepackaged. I actually prefer it out of the deli, but this time I had bought the light turkey, or I'm sorry, the light pepperoni, and sometimes I buy the turkey pepperoni, and it's already in the packages. So about 1/2 inch away from the edge of your crust, you're going to go around with your pepperoni. And then I dropped it on the floor, so that'll be for the dogs. Okay, so we're going to keep going around with this. And just kind of go around and coat that whole top crust with pepperoni. Now, if you don't like as much pepperoni, you don't like it quite as hearty or quite as meaty, then, you know, spread it out a little bit more. The more pepperoni you want, the closer together you put it. It's really simple. Like I said, you can switch this out for a turkey pepperoni. You could use salami if you want to. You can use Italian sausage. You can use whatever you want. Make it your own. This is just like the basic idea. We need a little bit more here. Now my family likes pepperoni. I prefer to have it more cheesy than pepperoni, but that's okay. I'm just going to kind of make it. And I can always pull the pepperoni out and feed it to the dogs. All right, so I'm just going to kind of put that right down the center. We've almost got this done. There we go. We didn't even use a whole bag. You could probably, if you don't use as much, you could probably get 2 meals out of it. All right, the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to put on our mozzarella cheese, or like I said, I have the pizza blend, which is basically Romano, provolone, mozzarella, and Parmesan. And I have extra of that as well because I just really love the flavor of those. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to spread that cheese right on there. Kind of the same pattern, you know, about 1/2 inch away from the sides. Like I said, if you know how to make homemade cinnamon rolls, you pretty much, it's the same concept. We're just layering the meat and cheese and everything instead of the cinnamon and the butter and all that great yumminess. All right, so there's our mozzarella. Again, you can split this in half and get 2 meals out of it, or make 2 of these rolls. And now I'm going to add just a tad bit more Romano and Parmesan because I like the saltiness of the cheese and just the way it tastes all together. You can skip this step if you want to. You don't have to do this cheese. This is just my take on it. You can also add some cheddar cheese here if you want to. All right. It smells so good. I love Parmesan cheese. This would be really yummy as an hors d'oeuvre. You could slice it and serve it with some red wine at a party. It'd be a great snack if you have Italian night. Make a Italian salad to go with it. Okay, I only used about maybe 1/4 bag of this. Okay, the next step we're going to want to do is we are going to slowly, and I want you to be able to see this, we're going to take the edge and you're just going to kind of fold it in real slowly and gentle. So just kind of roll that in there, and you're going to kind of tuck and roll all the way down. So I hope if you can see that movement, and it's going to kind of V-shape just a little bit. But that's what you want it to do. You should. This smells amazing, and it's not even in the oven. I can only imagine what my house is going to smell like when this is done. I'm going to be jealous. They're eating this tonight while I'm at work. So just continue very gently to roll this. Just doing it really slow, and having it on the parchment paper really helps. And then all I have to do is transfer it straight to my baking sheet. Right on the parchment paper. Okay, so we continue to roll. If it starts to stick, just do it really ever so gently, slow. And then when I get to about this point where you can kind of see that edge, do that one last roll, and then I kind of stretch that dough out and come around like this. Kind of tuck the goods in. And then just lift all that up. You see me stretching it. That's what's nice about the dough, is it's nice and flexible. Oh, this smells amazing. I cannot wait for them to try it tonight. Okay, so here it is. Now, basically what you want to do, I'm not going to mess with it too much, but you want to kind of take those edges on both sides and kind of just press them in. It almost looks like a loaf of bread now, see? Like a French loaf. And basically you're just tucking in those edges. So now it's pretty secure. I'm going to kind of lift that off of there because I want it to go this direction so that I can lay it on my cookie sheet. All right. I've got everything nice and tucked. Everything's together. That looks so good. Yum. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit more of my garlic grapeseed oil and I'm going to just kind of put it over the top. And then I'm going to rub it in. And that's going to help give it a nice brown crust and a really, really yummy flavor. Now, if you want to at this point, you could sprinkle. God, I cannot talk today. I'm sorry. Sprinkle a little Parmesan cheese on the top of this and bake it right on, just like, you know, you have those really yummy crusts. I'm going to leave it alone because I want that really rich flavor to come out, and I'm not going to mask it up too much because there's so much cheese inside of this. So go ahead and take that straight onto your baking sheet. Parchment paper and all, you can see, isn't that perfect? This is a 1/4 sheet. Put that on there. We're going to stick that in our preheated 375-degree oven for 15 to 20 minutes. You want to just make sure that your crust or your bread is golden brown and cooked, and you'll start seeing the juices and everything oozing out of this. It's going to be so good, I promise you that. So I'm going to go ahead and get this in the oven. We'll be right back and I'll show you what this looks like. So here it is. It's fresh out of the oven. You can see how nice and golden brown it is. I cooked this on 375. It took more like 25 minutes rather than 15 minutes. So depending on what you put your temperature on, you could cook it at a higher temperature if you wanted it done quicker. So you could do 425 for about 10 or 15 minutes. But this was 375 for 25 minutes. It's nice and hot. It's nice and crispy. I'm just going to coat it with a little bit more of that garlic oil on top just to make a nice shiny crust. Let those oils sink in. That was really hot. I'm going to let this cool off. This is going to be amazing. My house smells so good. So I'm going to let it cool for a minute. I'm going to cut one open for you so you can see the swirls of yumminess inside. And then show you how to serve it with just a little side salad. And you have got an easy, inexpensive dinner that will probably feed a family of 4. So if you need more than that, you can double it. So we'll be back in a minute and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so it's cooling down, but you still want to serve it kind of warm. So you know, you want to cut into it while it's warm and you've got the gooey cheese and everything. What you're going to do is you're going to do about 1-inch pieces on this. You can make them thicker if you want. Don't do them too thin though, because then your pizza roll is not going to stick together. I'm using a serrated knife, and this is just a small serrated knife, but you can use a large one. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut this end off. It's nice and warm. It's so yummy. So here's the end piece, which usually the end piece doesn't have as much cheeses and everything, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm only going to cut one piece off because my family's going to eat this tonight. I don't want to cut the whole thing. But you can see all the layers of yumminess in this. The pepperoni, the cheese, you can see a little bit of that marinara sauce in there. So you're going to serve those into 1-inch pieces. You can serve it with some ranch dressing if you like, or whatever you like to dip your pizza in. And then I just made a nice little side salad to go with it, and it'll be a nice complete dinner for my family. I made an Italian salad, and we've got some Italian dressing. So they're going to have a really yummy, delicious, semi-light meal tonight. It's not a super heavy meal. It does have the bread, but it's a light meal. It was whipped up really quick, and they're going to really enjoy it. So if you have any questions with this, feel free to leave those in the comment box. I'd love for you to give me a thumbs up and to share this on your Facebook page, as well as joining my Facebook page, Jus4SweetZ, or my group page, Recipe Book. And until next time, next video, have a wonderful day, everyone. God bless, and let me know how you like this recipe.